Hi there, my name is Nathan Jass. I'm the creator of the Back Office Toolkit. Thanks for joining me today. In this webinar, we're going to cover just what is the Back Office Toolkit all about, why you need it in your business, how it can really help you save time, and allow you to make the best possible decisions with really the least amount of effort. It gives you the information you need without forcing you to jump through hoops to get to it. So I would like to just walk through a presentation here. Essentially, my name's Nathan, Back Office Ninja. All it means is I really understand the back office really well. I like to help other people understand it also. And that sort of expertise is built into the toolkit and allows it to do the things that it does. My background, I'm a developer, have been for many years in web development and computer automation. So sort of the way my mind works when I look at something that's happening on a computer and it's a manual, repetitive process, I immediately go to sort of what's behind that and how could a computer do it for us, because computers are very good at repetitive tasks. 2016, I joined doTERRA and pretty immediately saw some needs in the back office. And we'll go through in this presentation sort of what the back office does well, what it provides you, and also where some of the shortcomings are and how the toolkit really bridges the gap there. So before we get started, show of hands, who here loves running your numbers, right? So if you picture, a Sunday afternoon where you just want to feel alive and vibrant and doing something creative and special, you run to your detailed genealogy and you start looking at your data, right? Probably not many people. On the other hand, I think we all know in the back of our mind that the numbers are important to some degree, right? It's a necessary part of running a business. So, there's a saying that, data is king. And when you're looking at a business, you have to pay attention to the small little details in order to make good, big picture decisions. So this isn't any less true in doTERRA. I'm going to walk through a few scenarios here, and I want to preface this. I personally know people who fit into each of these scenarios. So these are not contrived. Okay, so are you the person who has in the past maybe bought in for a rank? So you've planned, you've said, this month I'm determined to hit silver or gold or whatever your goal is. And so you buy up in certain legs, you incentivize growth where needed, you invest in your business in order to hit that rank, knowing that A, it means a lot to you, and B, it's worth it for what you're going to receive back, the reward. However, beginning of next month, you realize that you miscalculated something, maybe by a few PV, and you missed it. So you've gone ahead and invested all that time and really money and resources into something and then missed it just based on, maybe overlooking a number. Maybe that's not you. Maybe you're someone who's realized that you have tons of volume on your team, but the way that it's distributed does not achieve the rank or the bonus that you know that it should or think that it could. So in order to kind of get where you need to be with the size of team that you have to restructure. And that can be a very time-consuming and kind of tedious process. Maybe you are someone who loves whiteboards or spreadsheets, and you spend hours tracking your progress towards a goal. Maybe you've seen somebody at convention walk across the stage for whatever the rank is, and you've wondered, why not me? You desperately want to be there. You want to be walking. You want to have that recognition. You want that experience, but you're just not able to get there. Or maybe you're a leader and you've got a team, you've got builders, and you go to do a mentorship call where you want to get on and really help them focus on their business. And you have to spend just as much time as you do with your own business now, team, sort of immediate team, running the numbers for your builder so that you can get on the phone and confidently talk to them about where they're at. If any of these apply to you, then the toolkit is for you. Yeah, cute little smiley face. All right. So ultimately, what is the problem? Whether you've experienced those things personally or know someone who has, it comes down to an avoidable issue. Everything kind of boils down to an information gap. And this is key. Information is different than data, right? So information is organized, actionable data. So it's taking all the little pieces, making sense of it, and giving you a game plan, giving you a checklist, giving you something that you can do to act on that, right? Those are all the pointers, all the indicators, but the information is really what that's all pointing to. So the good news is that there's more than enough data in the back office to support making really, really good decisions, right? It's there. The trouble is connecting with it, all right? So many of us are disconnected for a number of reasons. It could be that it's intimidating. We're just not used to seeing big tables full of numbers. It definitely gets harder to manage as your team grows. So that we could have maybe reached a point where we just sort of lost control of that. Maybe you were never taught either how to do it or even that you should do it to keep track of any numbers. Or we just don't have tools to help make it easy. No matter what, we tend to respond in one of two directions. All right, so the two reactions that I tend to see are either to do nothing. These are the people who wonder why someone with a team with half as many people is outranking and out-earning them. Right? These are the people who end up needing help later on to reorganize and restructure their team to be more strategic. So sort of ignoring the back office, getting new enrollments, doing all the things, but not really understanding where to place those people, or where to sort of incentivize growth or work on a team in a way that's strategic. So you end up leaving money on the table. The other type of person sees the need to keep track of your numbers, and you try harder. So these are my whiteboard warriors, right? These are the people that stay on top of their numbers as like a part-time job. They're doing this super diligently, which is commendable. But in the end, it's a manual process, and part of being human is that we make mistakes. So we end up with a plan after spending hours and hours, maybe, and we don't really know for sure that it's going to work, right? We can hope. Maybe we spend a ton of time and we're sure, but there's a trade-off there. And really we don't know until it's too late. So what is the solution, right? Wanting to avoid having to manually sort through our back office data, but still get the benefits of that information that we know we need. This is where the toolkit comes in. So the purpose of the toolkit is to do all of the complicated number crunching analytics for you so that you can stay connected to the information and make the best decisions while actually having more time to do the things that you actually love to do. It is a total win-win. So you get connected and you get freed up time. In the end, we want less swimming through numbers in the back office and more dealing with simple, actionable items, and ultimately building relationships, supporting our teams, and promoting our products. All right, so let's look at what the toolkit is at a high level. Number one, it is secure. So this is a huge point. The toolkit is not a third-party website that you go to, log into, and submit your data or have it pull your data or anything like that. Your data is never sent to a third party, right? I never see it. I don't have any servers. There's nothing on my end that is going to hold and keep your data. Everything stays local on your computer. You can install it on as many devices as you want, but each one is its own secure local instance of your team. That was a key point when talking with corporate about getting the green light on this whole concept. This has been years in the making of working with legal and IT and compliance to get to the point where they have given it a stamp of approval and said, yes, this is okay, you can run with it. Big big benefit here is that the toolkit's automated. So right out of the box, you get it installed. You don't have to configure it. You don't have to go in and set your qualifiers and set your structure for bonuses. Everything is figured out for you. And you'll see there's actually, it's really neat because it shows not only where you're at right now, which you can sort of see in the back office currently, but it does all of the same stuff for where you're going, and accounting for future LRP. We'll see how it deals with those projections here in a minute. And lastly, so it's automated, but it's also flexible. So it's going to pick everything for you and kind of give you a best case scenario as far as where you're headed. But if you know something that it doesn't, because it's a computer and you're a person, you can go in and change, who your qualifiers are, whatever you want. You can make tweaks and save those things so that you help it to be smarter. Okay, let's look at what it does. Kind of group this into three main categories. So there's projections, planners, and reports. So we'll look at those one at a time here. Projections, there's several things that the toolkit projects. Sort of underlying all of the projections is this concept of LRP projections. So this is key to understand that the toolkit automatically adds up all of the scheduled future LRP volume that's occurring between now and the end of the month, right, for everybody on your team. So that is actually something that you could do manually, right? You could export your detailed genealogy, copy and paste it into Excel or something, and then write some formulas to add up all the volume that they've currently placed plus their next LRP volume and get these totals that are in the future. Of course, we know those aren't guarantees because people can change their orders, but it's a pretty good indicator of what people are going to order. So that part provides the data that the rest of the toolkit sort of is built on top of. But what the rest of the toolkit does is take that one piece of the puzzle, which is the projection, right? So you can know where volume is going to, what volume is scheduled on your team. But the real information, right, the real value is knowing where it is and how that affects rank and qualifiers and commission and bonuses, all of those things that doTERRA, that the back office itself is doing to run like commissions, right, on the 15th, or to figure out what your current rank is. The toolkit is doing all of those things based on both your current and your projected volumes. So rank projections, we see, get to determine the future rank for everybody on your team, from the managers at the very bottom up through your elites and then into your premiers and your silvers, all the way up. Everything that's either volume-based or has qualifiers, right? Everything gets sorted out and determined for you. We also have bonus projections. So we're going to see how the future state of our team will affect our Power 3 bonus and how we're doing right now. And then there's qualifier projections, which ties back into the rank. So this is picking the best potential qualifiers for every premier and up that needs qualifiers in addition to volume. Unilevel. So as I mentioned, the toolkit is actually able to estimate currently, and as you go through the month and as orders come in, what the estimated unilevel payout is going to be on those orders, and then look in the future too and say, hey, at the end of the month you're going to be, maybe a higher rank, have more volume, and this is your estimated unilevel commission by the end of the month. Okay, so planners, the next part. We've got two planners built into the back office toolkit. The first is a rank planner. So this lets you see exactly how far away you are now and how far away you will be after your LRP processes, or after all of the LRP on your team processes, from a target rank. Requires zero configuration. You just launch it, you pick the rank that you want to plan for, right, your target rank, and it is going to figure out the structure that you would need for that rank and who all of the best qualifiers would be. It accounts for all of the requirements for qualifiers, right, like qualifying legs and volume, all that. If what it picked is not who you wanted, again, you can adjust that. The other planner is very similar. It's a Power of 3 planner though. So this one is centered around the Power of 3 bonus. Shows the whole 1500 structure. Lets you see where all the gaps are. It's color coded. Has a real intuitive interface. We'll see in a minute. And it also lets you see anyone on your team how far away each person is from getting their $50 bonus. So that can be useful either for yourself planning your 250 and 1500, or just if you see somebody who's close to getting their 50, you can contact them and say, hey, did you know, you're really close to your bonus here with very little effort. Okay, reports. There's a bunch of reports that are predefined. In the future, there will probably be the ability to do some sort of customized reports that you want to run. But for now, I've taken a lot of feedback from the group on Facebook and from current users, and have built out a ton of reports that will filter through your team. So there's team recognition reports. These are designed for leaders to encourage top performers on your team. So instead of just saying, who has the most enrollments, maybe last month, you can actually say who had, the highest single enrollment, or who had, by volume, or the highest overall volume, even if they had a few enrollments, but they were really big. Maybe we want to, recognize that person. Things like that. We also have, so the rest of the reports, I'm just going to show them. So we have LRP-based, enrollment-based, and order-based reports. So these are ways to filter through your team using sort of these different criteria. And we'll take a look at that in a minute in the demo. I'll show just a couple. But there are ones that are sort of centered around LRP activity, ones that are centered around enrollment, dates, and order volumes, and then ones that are based around order volume in general. Okay, so quick demo. This is going to be pretty high level. I'm not going to get into sort of setup and installation. When you subscribe to the Toolkit, you will get in your welcome email, and also just on the site, there's a lot of information about how to get it set up. You're going to get a link to sign up for a comprehensive training course that walks you through step by step, whatever your device is. This installs on phones, iPhone, Android, Mac, PC, Linux, if you're running Linux. It's all, sort of across the board. So I'm not going to cover any of that, but in the demo here, we're going to pretend that we've already logged into our back office. We see sort of this top, pretend that this is your, header to the back office itself. And this used to be down here, used to be the detailed genealogy. So at this point, I've logged in, I'm at the detailed genealogy, and I click a little button up here. It runs as a Chrome extension or as a bookmark. And the detailed genealogy is going to hide, and the toolkit's going to load in its place. So there's some steps, some sort of processing steps that'll walk you through. And then here you go. So this is sort of like the new detailed genealogy. It's called Downline Viewer. And this is where you land. So what we're looking at here is essentially your entire team, but just the first level. So the idea is to have a real intuitive way of navigating through your team. So all I do is sort of hover. I can see volume information about the individual, and also I call this the team OV. So this is that value that needs to be 600 for Power 3. Right, that's that person plus their frontline. And then the last column here is the total OV, so that's that person and their entire downline. So I can see, everything's got two rows, and you'll see this throughout the app. The top number is always showing you current volume, so that's what you would see right now in the back office. And the bottom number shows current plus scheduled LRP. So that's why we've got the two rows there. But I can just click on a row, and that's going to expand Anna's team here and now show me her front line. So that's my level 2. And then I can click again and sort of just keep drilling in like this to, work my way through my team while still keeping a great quick context, right, of the upline back to myself. So I can see, hey, exactly who that person's under. We've got this info button. So for anybody on your team, you can just click this little eye, and it's going to pull up all of the information that you would normally see in the detailed genealogy, just formatted nicely in this pop-up. along with some additional information like LRP reward percentage, sort of their earnings for LRP, and then the ability to track people as favorites. We've also got order history. So by clicking this, we go back to January of 2018. We're going to get a list of this person's order history, which is super useful to see trends, to see multiple orders in the month, looking back even last month, or as far back as you want. So for BOGO months, that's particularly important. You can also see returns. They get striked out like this and with a check here. The toolkit is pretty cool. It actually covers in the training more the mechanics behind how it figures out returns, but it identifies returns and it identifies brand new orders that were just placed, even before the back office, like detailed genealogy, accounts for those orders. The toolkit will pick them up and figure out what they mean and show you. So that's exciting. So this is the downline viewer. We've got, filters. We've got the ability to search, look at the current or previous month, look at qualifier data, etc. This menu up in the corner shows us all of the different tools that are in the toolkit. So I'm going to switch to commission estimator real quick. This is, like I was saying, calculates for your current rank, your projected rank, and then a target rank that you choose. What your unilevel payout would be for every level. Gives you totals, and then if you're targeting a rank that's higher than what you're projected to reach, it'll say, hey, you don't have enough volume on your team to even look at that rank, but this is the gap between where you are going to be and where you want to be. And if you achieve that gap and it paid out at sort of an average commission, this is what you would earn extra. So it adds that in too. Pretty cool, encouraging tool just to look at, like, okay, what am I really sort of gearing up to do this month? Got a neat analysis down here too for all my nerd friends. This shows dynamic compression. This is similar to what you'd see if you ran, there's a PDF export you can actually do from the back office to see unilevel. It's essentially this table, but this is done ahead of time. It's pretty cool. Got our rank planner next. So let's say I'm targeting gold. This is the structure that's needed for gold, right? I've got my 3 premiers here, and each premier I can hover and it drops down and shows me the 2 executives that they each need. And I also see the OV requirement of 5,000. So these are all outlined in red because, I'm projected to be elite. I don't have, qualifiers that are currently now or projected to be premier. So these are red because they're not gonna hit it. But I can see exactly how far away they are from hitting it. And this is really useful if I have a new enrollment. I can come in here and I can say I'm going to target, my rank +1, and then see which leg is actually the weaker leg, right? Because we can say, based on current volume that's already gone through, maybe Anna here has, a higher overall PV, right, for her downline than Larry. So we're thinking, oh, Larry's team must be weaker. Let's put a new enrollment on Larry's team. But Larry's team might have 2,000 OV in LRP that's scheduled, and Anna's team might have none. So it could be that if we looked at the end of the month, Larry's team is actually doing a lot better. So these are the kind of things that the toolkit can really help identify very easily. Also have a Power 3 planner. So this is the structure for Power 3. This is color-coded. To make a lot of sense, you do have to kind of get a little bit used to it. But again, you can hover and sort of drill down into the details. And this is covered, extensively in the training as well. And then we've got these reports I was talking about. So here's the recognition, and then these are the other categories, right? LRP, enrollment, and order-based. So I could see, like, for instance, people who are not on LRP. So this is my list of everyone who has no next LRP coming up. I can select those people. I could select all, or just a few. And then I can go to action and export them. So this, I can spit out whatever fields I want to a CSV file, which I could then import to maybe an email campaign system or to a CRM or something, or just have a checklist that I want to print out to go through and contact those people. Really, really helpful. The data exporter also ties in here as another standalone tool. So this is a way to run an export against your detailed genealogy and get additional fields. We've also got, just a profile. So this is where you go to manage your subscription, set up autosync, and there's going to be some integrations coming down the line. Don't have these working yet, but I'm working on some partnerships there. So look forward to that. And that's kind of it. So that's the overview. This is sort of giving you an idea of the interface, right? This is sort of how you would navigate through your team. You notice in everything I did, the page never refreshed, right? So there's no, once you've got the data and the toolkit loads, everything is really, really fast. So you're not having to wait for, updating reports or changing pages or looking at, the profile pop-ups of people on your team. Everything's just available right at the click of a button, and it's very fast. So love that. Let me go back here. Okay, so let's say you subscribe, which I hope you do. What are you going to get? First thing, access to the toolkit. So you'll get an email, and again that training, which is down here. That training course is going to walk you through how to get it all set up wherever you want. You get exclusive access to a members-only Facebook group. In that group, I am super active, and the community is active as well. There's a lot of feedback there, a lot of additional support, and I go live weekly coaching calls. There we go. Every Tuesday, I am live in the group. And the format of that might change here in a little bit, but essentially I'm there to support you as you work your way through the training. If you have any specific questions related to your team, that would be the time to show up and ask. In other words, let me put my video up here. There we go. You get a simple system with powerful information, right? Epic support, resulting in massive time savings, all designed to drive your business forward. That is what the toolkit is all about. Now we get to the big question. What does it cost? It's got to be expensive, right? Like something that saves me this much time and does this much stuff. Wrong. So it's $10 a month. My reasoning here, because people say I'm crazy, is that I want this to be within reach for ranks of elite, premier, that range up through presidential diamonds. So in order to do that, it has to make sense cost-wise for those smaller teams. Sort of just as you're getting beyond paying for your oils, and starting to earn a profit on your business, this is going to jumpstart you as sort of a thing that you can invest in that's really going to pay dividends in, again, the time saving and the efficiency and the strategically building your team from its infancy, right? So that's the goal, and that's why it's priced at $10 a month. I also do a annual plan, save 2 months, you get for $100 a year. Can't guarantee this pricing is going to be around forever, but this, I think, is the right direction, and it's where I'm at right now. So I don't do a trial. I do a money-back guarantee, and there's a reason here. So if you sign up, it's going to charge you right away. You're going to get all of the training right off the bat. You're going to get invited to the group. You're going to have all the resources you need to get started. And within that first 30 days, if you go through the training and you actually use it and you don't like it, it doesn't work for you, it's whatever, for whatever reason, doesn't matter why, let me know, cancel your account, give you money back, refund, totally. I don't think that's going to happen, because I think once you actually use it, there's going to be at least something in there that kind of makes sense from a sort of time cost, benefit thing, right? You're going to say like, okay, if all I'm doing is saving an hour's worth of adding up numbers, that's worth $10. If on top of that, I love all the other things, like it's awesome. So that's the way it works. That's what it costs. And all you have to do to get started is go to backofficetoolkit.net. So that is my site over here. Gonna get sort of information. You can flip through here, read testimonials. Here's where you get started, right? This is the cost. You choose yearly or monthly, and then hit start now. That'll bring you to the checkout page. And there's other stuff. This is sort of the information steps, right? Sign up, get it installed, log into your back office, and run it. Those are the steps. And it all gets spelled out in the training. So I think at this point I am rambling a little bit. But thank you for sticking with me. Appreciate you being here again. And I hope that you enjoy this tool. I hope it's something that, again, just really benefits your business. That's why I'm here. I hate to see people frustrated in either not understanding, not knowing what to do, feeling lost, feeling swamped in their team. I want you to feel in control of your business. And I think the Back Office Toolkit is a really easy way to get in the driver's seat and really know where you're going. So, thanks a lot, and I'll see you later.